Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Today's June 19th, 2016. Later today will be Game 7 of the NBA Finals. In the sports headlines, there's a lot of talk about the death of Len Bias, the former basketball great out of Maryland, who died 30 years ago today. June 19th, 1986. He died 11 days after the Celtics won the championship. He died 2 days after being drafted by the Boston Celtics. And a lot of sports historians say his death changed the course of basketball. A lot of people thought he would go on to become the greatest player in the league at the time of him being drafted. This was a time when Michael Jordan was a young star in the league. Some people say had Len Bias not died, he would have become what Michael Jordan is. So anyway, there's a reason that Len Bias was ritually sacrificed by the numbers. We're going to talk about why in this video. I'm also going to show you the parallels between his death and other celebrities, such as Moses Malone, who passed just before the season began, such as Tupac Shakur, who died by the numbers, and Dogg, who sung about the number 213, which we'll get to why that's significant in regards to the death of Len Bias and the others I just named. So Len Bias, he was born November 18th, 1963 in Landover, Maryland. Died June 19th, 1986 in Riverdale Park, Maryland. Something I talk about is how many athletes, they seem to have been farmed. Something weird is going on behind the scenes with professional athletes. So many of them have names that have gematria that is significant. Oftentimes their name is the same as their place of birth. In this case, the full name Leonard Kevin Bias has the same gematria as Landover, Maryland, where he was born, where he went on to play his college basketball. And the gematria of 71 stands out because it connects to the Catholic Church. As I routinely say, if you look at where the majority of these players have gone to school in the NBA, high school, college, over half of them have gone to Catholic schools. If you haven't seen my work on the college championship that was won by Villanova this year, the Catholic school, I show how it was synced up with the Pope departing the country through Philadelphia on September 27th. This Catholic theme in basketball is a big one. It's an important point. I'm just saying here that Len Bias had the numbers of the Catholic Church coded into him. He died at age 22, exactly 213 days after his birthday, his 22nd birthday. When Villanova won this year, their star point guard, who had the same name gematria as Villanova, he was 22 years old. On his 22nd birthday, they upset Kansas by the numbers. Anyway, Len Bias, dead at age 22 after being drafted by the Boston Celtics. Boston in basketball have the same gematria. Boston, the small way, is 22 and 31. And the big way, 85. Basketball is the same thing, 22, 31, 85. And when you think about it, Boston Celtics, they've won 17 NBA championships. NBA equals 17, the reflection of 71. Celtics with 17 championships. The name Len and Bias, what he went by, Len Bias has gematria of 31. Again, basketball equals 31, Boston equals 31 as well. That's with the S exception, you just add 9 more. With regards to his name, Len Bias, it also connects to Celtics. Len Bias equals 26, just like Celtics. 26, a very special number known as the God number in gematria, something that predates English. The English alphabet is 26 letters. Notice the name Jordan also has gematria of 26. They say Len Bias might have been the Michael Jordan as we know it had he not died or been ritually murdered. His birthday, November 18th, is the 322nd day of the year. The year 1986 that he was drafted was the year the Celtics won the championship over the Rockets. And it's the year that it changed the name to the NBA Finals. It was never called the NBA Finals before. That was new in 1986. The NBA Finals in Jewish gematria sums to 322. Len Bias sacrifices a ritual for the first team to win the NBA Finals, being born on the 322nd day of the year. And a lot of you recognize that number through Skull and Bones, the Masonic order. Realize that the word Masonic in Jewish gematria is 223. 322, 223, reflections of each other, special numbers to the Freemasons, the gang running the show. The date Len Bias was born, November 18th, 1963, was a date with 111 numerology. The date he died was also a date with 111 numerology. The NBA Finals also equals 111. This man really had the numbers that line up with the event, why he was chosen to be murdered. He was given a hot dose of cocaine purposefully. If you read about his death, the cocaine he got was, very hard to find. You can only find that in the government's possession, given this very potent dose of cocaine. Notice also that the Celtics won the championship in '86 on June 8th, a date that can be written 8/6 or 6/8. The date Len Bias died was also a date with 130 numerology, very much like the number 13, important number to the Illuminati. He died in Washington Hall, Suite 1103. Washington has the gematria of 130, just like the date he died on. With regards to that suite number, 1103, that's a lot like the number 113, a very important number to the Freemasons and Zionist Jews who control the NBA. Scottish 113, mainstream 113, dishonest 113. Scottish is for Scottish Rite Freemasonry, the branch of Freemasonry that runs the show in this nation and the Western world. Not a coincidence that this man died in Suite 1103. Michael Jordan equals 113, Kobe Bryant equals 113. Very special number to the gang. Len Bias wore number 34 at Maryland. He also wore 33 in high school, like so many of these greats do. But 34 in Maryland stands out. Maryland equals 34, so does murder. And this man was ritually murdered after being drafted out of Maryland just 2 days after the draft. With regards to him wearing 33 in high school, Leonard equals 33, NBA Finals 33, Massachusetts 33. Look at how many of these stars were 33 in high school. Kobe equals 33, wore 33 at Lower Merion. We're about to talk about Kobe in a minute. With regards to this being a news story today, the 30-year anniversary, the date of Game 7 of the NBA Finals, check this out. Len Bias was drafted second overall by the Boston Celtics. Look at who had the number 1 pick that year, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and look at who had the 3rd pick, the Golden State Warriors. The NBA Finals is the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors. Earlier this year, I made a confirmation video that the NBA Finals would be the Cavs and Warriors, something I predicted at the beginning of the season, when the Warriors' home winning streak was snapped by the Celtics. Remember, that streak was snapped at 54. Oracle equals 54, like the name of the arena the Warriors play in. And having it snapped by the Celtics is interesting because the Celtics in history were the first team to nearly go undefeated at home. Their record was snapped at 39 games. The date that the Celtics ended the win streak for the Warriors at home at 54, the same day the Cavs earned their 54th win. They earned their 54th win against the Atlanta Hawks the same day that the Warriors lost to the Boston Celtics. In history, the Celtics went to 10 straight NBA Finals. Bill Russell on that team. The only time they lost was to the Hawks. They weren't in Atlanta then, but it was the Hawks. The same day the Warriors lost to the Celtics, the Cavs defeated the Hawks, getting their 54th win. Again, Oracle equals 54. Oracle has to do with future telling. I thought this was a major hint that the Cavs would win the NBA Finals over the Warriors this year. Today they have the chance to do it. If I'm reading the script right, I think it will go in favor of the Cavs. I just put out a video the other day showing all the synchronicities with Game 7 and the Cavs. There is also a major connection that goes in the favor of the Warriors, but to me, more evidence lines up for the Cavs. I just want you to notice, though, Cavs and Warriors drafted right around Len Bias. And what I continue to explain is these leagues are scripted. They're planned out decades in advance. The drafts are part of the script. The scores, the championships, they're all part of the script. And when you recognize it, you can see how these events in history foreshadow what is to come in the future. In the Super Bowl, I was pointing out how in Super Bowl 24, John Elway lost to the 49ers 55-10. And I was pointing out this year, John Elway was 55 years old. The Broncos were 55 years old, and the Super Bowl was being hosted in San Francisco, and I was pretty sure that was foreshadowing the Broncos to win this year. Sure enough, they did. An event from history forecast the future. And this stuff is true all throughout sports. These are just some examples. The draft was June 17th that year. He died 2 days later. He died in Riverdale Park. Riverdale Park has gematria of 68. Again, the Celtics had just won the NBA Finals on June 8th, which can be written 6/8, the reflection of 86. Caskets go 6 feet deep, are 8 feet long often. This is a number that shows up around death, 68. Len Bias was 6'8". That's what he was listed at. Riverdale Park, Maryland, where he died, the full name sums to 228, just like the word death. This is where he died. United States of America also has the gematria of 228. I have a video on the significance of death and the name of this nation. And think about what this country has always been since the beginning. It's a nation that began with a genocide, mass death, and has been at war almost every year ever since, for centuries. This nation runs on death. Ritual sacrifice, killing, death. This is how the Masons who run the show do it. So here's this point again. Len Bias, born November 18th, the 322nd day. He would die 213 days later, and 213 is a number very much connected to death. I just talked about the significance of 213 in Game 6, how they had this tribute. Think about it. The Golden State Warriors scored 2 points in 6 minutes of basketball. When have you ever seen that before? And this is supposed to be a high-powered offense. This was a deliberate tribute to all of the celebrity deaths so far in the time of the NBA Finals, something I predicted before the NBA Finals even started. I said, I'm going to be here a lot talking about all the deaths in the time of the NBA Finals. And I've already done a number of videos on people who have died. Muhammad Ali, Kimbo Slice, Gordie Howe, Prince B. Even Prince, when he died, that was a tribute to the NBA Finals. I explained that then. Game 1 of the NBA Finals, they came out with the cause of death for Prince. All of these numbers are connected to all of these people's deaths. 213. Tupac Shakur, a shining example of dying by 213. His final studio album, while he was alive, All Eyes on Me, came out February 13th, 2/13. That's the 44th day of the year. The word kill equals 44. This album was postponed about 8 times before it finally released. It was supposed to come out in the summer of 95. It didn't come out till February 13th, 96. And now I know why. Tupac would die exactly 213 days after February 13th. 2/13 dies 213 days later. He was affiliated with the rap group 213 like Nate Dogg and others. His final studio album, he went by the name Machiavelli, tribute to Machiavelli. This year, Tupac's mother, her death was announced on the real Machiavelli's birthday. Machiavelli wrote The Prince. Her death came right after the death of Prince. Anyway, just look at the gematria here of Machiavelli. And the final album is Tupac on the cross. Notice that Jesus and cross is 74, like Machiavelli, like rapper, like Messiah, like gospel, like Masonic, like Jewish, like occult. Special number to this gang. It's why our nation's birthday is 7-4. Out of the 50 states, only one sums to 74. It's the 33rd state, Oregon. Think about Jesus on the cross at age 33. The name Shakur equals 33. Tupac Shakur, he would die September 13th. September 13th. Tupac Shakur equals 139. Freemasonry equals 139. September 13th can be written 13/9. This year, Moses Malone also died on that date at age 60. Moses Malone dropped dead 17 days after Daryl Dawkins, his teammate. NBA 17, Kill 17. Ritual deaths. From September 13th, the day Moses Malone died, until the date Kobe Bryant scored 60 points, Moses Malone dead at 60, Kobe scores 60 in his final game, was 213 days. Kobe scored 60 on April 13th. Think about this. Kobe scored 60 against the Utah Jazz. Utah Jazz is the only team in the league that sums to 113 like Kobe Bryant. But Utah is also the team in history that drafted Moses Malone out of high school. Moses Malone was the first player to go from high school to the pros in professional basketball. Drafted by Utah, dies at age 60 by the numbers. Lo and behold, Kobe Bryant, who was drafted out of high school, who grew up in Philly where Moses Malone played most of his career. He would finish his career against Utah, score 60 points. They were calling it Black Mamba Day. Notice the Black Mamba equals 213. So does Black History Month, 213. 213 days after the death of Moses Malone, 60 points. This is how scripted the league is, and this is how sick it all is. I don't know that Kobe Bryant has a clue about any of this. But this is how these athletes are used in these rituals, by the numbers. From February 13th to April 13th, the date Kobe scored 60 was also 60 days. Remember, 213, February 13th, the 44th day of the year, 44 the kill number. The initials MM, Moses Malone. M is the 13th letter, 1 plus 3 becomes 4. MM is 44. Daryl Dawkins, DD, D's the 4th letter, 44. These men dying 17 days apart. There's a whole lot more to it than that. I have longer videos going into greater length, but for now I just want to focus on 213. Nate Dogg in Regulators, the Warren G song, sings about 213 in the chorus. Part of the rap group 213. Check this out. He was born August 19th, 1969. He died March 15th, the 74th day of the year. 74. Tupac on the cross, Machiavelli, 74. This is known as the Ides of March this day. He would die in Long Beach, California, gematria 44 like kill. Born in Clarksdale, Mississippi, having gematria of 118 like death. His birth name, Nathaniel Hale, the same gematria as Ides of March. March 15th is the Ides of March. It's the year, or it's the date Julius Caesar was assassinated in the year 44 BC. Check this out. From February 13th, 213, to Nate Dogg's birthday, 187 days, the homicide code. Another man who died by these Masonic numbers, and this was the tribute from 213 to his birthday, and why he ended up dying as we know he did. These people are murdered and false causes are given for their cause of death. You know, Nate Dogg died young. He died at age 41, short of his 42nd birthday. If you never heard the song Regulators, this is Nate Dogg right here. Just play a little soundbite of this chorus. Did you hear it? All you skirts know what's up with 213. And now Nate Dogg somewhere in a grave knowing what's up with 213. The word skirts has gematria of 96 like Freemason. Tupac died in 96, 213 days after the February 13th release. Skirts, you know, it could be a subtle way of saying all of you Masons in aprons. The Masons wear those aprons around their waist. Perhaps that's the skirt, you know? One of my readers, he thought about that. I thought that was pretty brilliant. Freemasonry runs the show, from NBA to recording artists. Look at how many of these rappers talk about Freemasonry open in their songs at this day and age, you know? This Rick Ross character, he has that song about Freemasonry talking about how much he likes the compass and square. These people like being rich and famous now, but they're not going to like it when they die by the numbers, you know? So R.I.P. Len Bias. This is really what's going on in the world. Murder of people by the numbers and by the same numbers all throughout history. The book I'm working on, it has a whole lot more examples of 213. Presidents have died by this number and more. All right, Truth Seeker, until next time.